Welcome to the Coastly Distinct Podcast. This is your boy, DJ KO.
K-Jack is in the building.
I thank you guys for tuning in to the show. Thank you guys for sending the comments from the last show and the other shows to come. Today we have a special show. We have a special guest in the building. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to all the people that sent me their comments on that last show I had. It was crazy how y'all had these questions. Yes, that Singles in Houston show. Y'all was talking some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
so
I heard my cousin cut up.
we got we got part 3 coming to Houston. So it's gonna be probably an open
Should do a live audience.
relationship type of audience.
What was those things we used to do on campus? They used to have the little forum things where the people be up there and you had the people in the audience, and they can stand up and ask questions.
Like the panels?
Like a Q&A.
Yes, they used to have the panels during our little Greek weeks. They used
Hopefully,
to do that.
hopefully we get to that, and if everybody,
Have the vaccine.
well, yeah, because right now, most of these states are shutting down with this mandate. So
That's why you do the live. That's the way of doing it, digital.
You make it interactive.
Make it interactive.
I want it, but it's more when you have it when you have people together, it's more personal. You know what I'm saying? Versus watching somebody over a monitor.
This is true, but some people have more confidence when they can't be seen.
Right.
Because it's
And
not.
you
It's
get
a
rowdy.
It's a safe space and it's a non-judgmental environment.
I want to see that face. I want the people to see that face so they can see who they criticize.
It may not be criticism.
Right.
So anyway, that voice that you heard in the background, that's our special guest today. I want everybody to welcome to the show, Miss Jasmine Janelle. Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing, Jasmine?
I'm good.
You all right?
I am. I appreciate
Jasmine came in the show. Look, for behind the scenes, Jasmine came in the show lit. She was telling us, look, we need to do this. Y'all need to do this. Look, I say, boy, I tell y'all something else over here, boy. Jasmine, tell the people where you from.
I am straight out of Houston, Texas, where I was born and raised.
Okay. So what school you went to? High school?
I went to Hightower High School.
So you from
Hightower.
what is that? Fresno area?
Missouri City.
Missouri City, Mo City. Okay, I got you. So that's not hood. Well, Hightower back in the day wasn't really
Travis
hood.
Scott cousins.
Yeah, Did you know Travis Scott?
Everybody knew Travis.
But he wasn't
We know
Travis
Travis.
Scott.
Yeah,
Right.
we know
Travis
Travis.
Scott.
We know Trav.
We know Trav. Little T.
So tell the people exactly, because I know what you do. I saw you on Instagram. I saw you on social media what you do, and I thought it was dope. So tell the people a little bit what you do before we get into it.
I am a Houston artist. I'm not any specific artist because I have lots of specialties, which you don't see a lot.
Okay.
I do portraits. I do murals, interior, exterior, home design, home decor. I do furniture. I build huge canvases in my Houston warehouse, deliver them to your door. I do epoxy. I do a little bit of everything. So literally, I'm the one-stop shop. You don't hear about a lot of women, especially black women, building. Usually when you hear about women doing heavy-duty work, you have in your mind this kind of stigma image of some heavy-duty woman sweating and coughing up loogies. You normally see a woman who's kind of a polished woman building 9 and 10 foot canvases or hauling furniture and hooking up trailers and climbing 20-foot scaffolds.
Right.
You just don't see that. But one thing I do know is there's a need here in Texas. Texas is building big huge
need.
homes, these open concept floor plans. HGTV is opening up people's mind to remodeling and opening up their spaces. But guess what? When you open up the space, that space has bigger wall space and more light coming in. And now you're thinking, what can I put on this wall? So for me, I do the 20-foot accent walls and 20-foot abstract walls. I do the 10 and 20-foot canvases that you can't find in any of the local stores.
Well, in my little bitty house, my wall's about 6 feet, so you can.
You in a trap house?
There's no 20 nothing in my.
I treat all walls equally.
Thank you.
All size wall lives matter.
All walls matter, right?
All walls matter. All walls matter. So I specialize in oversized art and huge abstract artwork that you just can't get in stores. I'm about recycling and environmental
upholstery.
Friendly. Not quite. Failed out of fashion school. Sorry, I can't sew.
But like furniture.
No, I can paint the furniture.
Okay. But you don't.
We'll talk about it.
We'll
talk about it. I have some chairs that I need to do something to out of my grandmother's house. Some antiques.
Yeah,
I need to do something to. You gonna do something?
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna just
gonna
bring them to you, and I'm gonna let you be
You don't
creative.
even have to
There
bring
it
them to me.
is.
I'm gonna come get them.
Oh,
Okay.
It's called the convenience.
let's
I
go.
create luxury experience.
So Jasmine, let me ask you this:
Black luxury. I love it.
How does a person, a woman, how does? Because I know women normally have a natural creative side, stuff like that. But from what you do,
at
that's
you
something
knowing a
that's
woman.
different. That's something that's that's different in your space, especially at your age. You know what I'm saying? So how did you get into what you're doing?
I've always been an artist. It is my natural gift. And through life, just different experiences I felt like contributed to where I'm at now. Whether it was me climbing trees, whether it was my grandmother, I come from a family of extremely strong women to where I associate women in my family with strength.
Okay.
I come from a down-home country family to where there was no, I don't want to say no such thing, but not really a such thing as gender roles when I was growing up. I saw them cook. I saw them clean. My grandmother fixed pipes in the house, wrapped her pipes around the winter time. I literally have pictures of my grandmother at like 70-something years old out in the yard mowing her grass, trimming her hedges, sweeping up the leaves. So the idea of a woman working really hard and doing heavy-duty work was my norm.
Right.
So it wasn't like I don't like to get my hands dirty. To me, getting my hands dirty made me feel more like a woman. So where I'm at now, to me, is like, this is the best version of me, the version of me that brings attention to the fact that we are changing as a society. As women, we are doing a lot more. We're more confident. We have more of a voice. And it's not just about being a feminist, but it's about literally just changing the narrative and breaking those stigmas on what it means to
It's
be
just
a woman.
it's strength.
Yeah.
Is it, but is it, because you used the word that I want to use, feminist. Is it really being a feminist? Which is not a bad thing.
I don't.
What's the definition of a feminist?
Well, it's somebody that's woman power. It's all women.
Okay, so power.
So,
That's
but
it.
it's strictly woman power. It's nothing else but woman power.
I don't identify as a feminist.
Okay.
Right.
But I have a strong support of the feminist movement.
I got you.
And I feel like a lot of women who support the feminist movement, a lot of those women aren't even in heavy duty work.
They're not.
It's more about the equality, about the voice, about the pay in the workplace, more so than it is. But there's a small group of women, like if you ever look up the hashtag women in construction, there are some beautiful, gorgeous women, little women, doing huge welding jobs. They're standing alongside of men with 16 years of experience, and they're threading rebars and doing better welding jobs than a lot of these men. And those are the women that often go unnoticed, or they get more of the backlash on the job. It's harder for those women because on a lot of construction sites, it's not woman friendly all the time. You're working in a male dominated field.
Right.
Sexual harassment is at an all-time high. Promotions, as far as coming up in the workplace, given a hard time, the policies are not really put in place for women because a lot of times you never heard about women working in the plants. And if so, they weren't women.
They were secretaries.
Yeah, it was the secretaries. They weren't out there on the plant floor. They weren't CDL certified. So women are really dominating right now, from truckers, CDL licenses, twit cars, the whole 9 yards, and I'm here for it.
Shout out to the twit car,
Shout
Leslie
out
Horn.
to-
Leslie,
shout out.
see there? There
So,
we go.
so,
There we
but
go.
I have a rebuttal to that.
Oh Lord, here we go.
I don't want to, I don't want
Bring it on.
to, all right. So
He think you should be barefoot and cooking and cleaning.
Nah, it's not that.
I was barefoot earlier.
But you know what? I
I
think
wasn't
that
cooking, but I was
While I was
cleaning.
cooking my food.
the way women take over, as far as numbers, they outnumber men. Somebody has to take these jobs, right? And I'm not saying it's out of convenience. I'm saying the number of men that's out here, first of all, the men that's in corporate America, they're not going to do those jobs.
Which jobs?
Like those blue collar jobs. They're
That's
not going to
not
do
true.
that. Most of them not.
What's most? What
That's not true.
demographic
So
are
we
we
look at,
talking
are we
That's
looking at a
not
number? Let's look at a number. Let's break it down. So when we look at the average white collar male, black male,
Okay.
we're not talking about white, black male. We're talking about black, right?
Okay.
If they have a white collar job, they're going to stay in that job 30 years.
They'll try to.
They'll try.
That's their goal.
right.
30
right.
years. Even if they retire and go into another field, 9 times out of 10 they're not going to do no hard
It's not
work
gonna be labor.
Okay.
at all.
It's not gonna be
And
labor.
you say that to say?
I'm saying that because these women outnumber men, especially here. Just talk about here in Houston. It's 11-1 between the demographics, the ages of 30 to 45. It's 11 women to 1 man. So that's during our career. That's like our main ages during our career, right? So if you got 11 women to 1.
So you saying we're doing this by default?
I think so. You have to.
No. I have a rebuttal
Because there's not
to
that many men out here.
I have a rebuttal to that.
Okay,
First
talk
of all,
about it.
you have to understand where we are in a political aspect.
Okay.
As far as the workforce, as far as the rate of single women, the divorce rate. I have.
But you're automatically weak because you're a woman. In majority of the fields, you don't get the respect or that you have the power simply because you are a woman.
I disagree.
No, but you're saying we're getting it by default. So it's like we're going to toughen her up. And like she said, it comes across as a certain stigma that it's a certain type of woman. She's either gay, she's butch, whatever, because she's doing this. She can't go home and put on a skirt and heels and be married to a man. That's just the mentality of how it goes. So that goes into your default of that's how you get that job because there's nobody else signing up. So we're going to let you sign up and do it.
No, I'm saying in blue collar jobs. That's what I'm saying.
Right, in labor jobs.
Not
blue collar is labor.
White collar or,
we talking
corporate
about,
America. I'm talking about blue collar.
Exactly.
Because a lot of women before wasn't working in construction. They wasn't
because
doing
they wouldn't
welding.
let them.
Right.
They wouldn't let them.
Well,
It's not
that's
because
true.
they didn't want
That's
to.
Because as a kid, I liked dolls, but I like building better.
Okay.
I love taking things apart, and I love putting things back together. My grandmother did heavy duty work. My dad could build cars from the ground up.
Okay.
I just always saw the woman. It's not even about doing it because you necessarily wanted to or had to. It's just if it needs to be done, just
get
do
it done.
Like
I got
just get
you.
it done. A lot of the women in construction that I meet are women who truly enjoy. They're artists technically.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoy woodwork. They enjoy putting things together. It's the same scenario. So who's to say that because you're a woman you can't like building? Because you're a woman you can't work on a car. I've dated men that couldn't change their own battery. I could take your battery out, go get a new one,
Really?
drop your new battery in, retighten it
These
in.
men can't change
whole
the,
9
they
yards.
can't
Baby
change
gotta be best
batteries.
friend.
Yeah, but
Oh
to
my
me, it
goodness.
comes down for most people. So would you say I'm doing it by default? Or if we look at my psychosocial background,
You's just too strong.
if you look at my background,
But you have you're odd.
I come from.
You're a unique woman.
My dad was a mechanic.
Okay.
So
You're odd.
my dad was a mechanic. So because he was always working on cars in the garage,
It became second nature.
he couldn't pull away from his work, so I had to go into his world, which
Right.
was
I
was the professional light holder in
I
the
got
middle of
you.
the night. Sleepy as I don't know what, but if I meant I had to spend time with my dad, I wanted to spend time in his space. If it was, I was like a surgical tech, but with passing him the tools. And
Right.
so seeing those things, it became like fun. It made me feel more like dad. And I knew, okay, if I can do this, then dad will be proud. If I can do this, I didn't know that in womanhood I would really need to know that because AAA is going to take you 2.5 hours. But
Right.
again, it comes down to women who are doing these heavy duty jobs. It's for more reasons than just by default. Imagine the woman who was married or went through a divorce or whatever the case, and she has custody of all 3 or 4 of these kids.
She got to do what she got to do.
But guess what? She was a housewife because she was married to a provider.
Right.
So you gave me the security, and then you took it away from me when we divorced. So now what am I supposed to do when my resume is this short because I've taken care of
That's
the
true.
kids and
I
I've
get that.
cleaned?
I get
And
that.
now going into the workforce with a basic secretary job just ain't going to cut it. So I got to get my hands dirty. I'm going to go get me a CDL. Only thing it's doing is driving anyway. It's like being an Uber.
But you have a different mindset. A lot of women don't have that mindset.
That's why we're
They
on this
will when they have to,
podcast.
though.
You know what I'm saying? And then, are you married?
I am not.
So a lot of women, they don't think about that. If that was to happen to them, they don't think about that until it happens.
No.
Right? A lot of women that's comfortable, say to use the word comfortable, they're not thinking about that because they're in comfort.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But I think, when you have a man, when you meet a man who commits to you and tell you that I am a man and I'm strong enough to lead this family,
Okay.
then why do I need to worry about those things?
Well, circumstance.
It can be a thought, but it's not a realistic thought because, again, if the family dynamic is set up the way ideally it's supposed to be, which is I've met a man who's giving me security, who is leading this household, who is doing everything he needs to do as a man, it is my job to be whatever my man needs me to be or whatever that looks like for your particular relationship. And again, I feel like we're living in times to where I'm so glad that women like myself can have a platform like social media. So, I mean, I follow lots of young women who are single moms, who do all kind of things, but guess what? Even strippers You know,
It's an art,
you
a
hear
strip,
lot-
though.
you-
It's an art to do that.
Not necessarily saying that, but I've been hearing about
I love it.
how a lot of these girls are using this adult entertainment lifestyle as quick money to save for these big businesses. These women are buying trucks.
That is very true.
Big trucks and,
Yeah,
and
that's
You
starting
know
their
for
trucking
yourself.
companies.
That's true.
When
And
we
I'm
were
here
in
for
college.
it.
That's true.
There were people who were strippers. I had a friend, we would go to Walmart and I'd be like, bruh, promise me the next time we go to the store, you gonna change these singles in for some bigger bills. We cannot get to Walmart with your Crown Royal bag full of singles smelling like
The menthols and
that
camels in the club.
raspberry, sun-ripened raspberry with glitter. Like, come on, bro. But a lot of times when you talk to women in those industries, they use that as a means to an end.
Right.
But it's because they had to create their own means. Like Jasmine said, it's a means to an end to do something else. I tell people all the time, I can cut my grass, weed eat, probably put in a sprinkler, all of that, because my dad owned a landscaping service. And when you got old enough to go, my brothers were angry because I didn't go as often as they did. But O'Shea did not play. Everybody got to go. I could cut grass, fertilizer, all of that. But I'm in the mindset, I go to work every day. I'm not about to do that. I can pay somebody to do it. But my lawn man will tell you, I will check him when he does not edge my yard or weed eat at a certain angle. Like, no, you need to tilt that weed eat a little bit different. So, but it's good that you say that, because there is a lot of empowerment in that. And like you said, Adam, when people leave, I tell people all the time, I have a lot of knowledge. If my husband was to go away, disappear, I couldn't tell you the first thing about certain things that it comes to. Now, when it comes to a car, shout out to you. You my hero. Because I tell people all the time, if I get a flat tire, the first thing I'm going to do is call my husband, like, I need a new car. He going to be like, why? I got a flat. That just, I'm not finished. I don't want to
That's the
learn how
average
to
woman,
change it.
though.
I don't want to learn how
There's
to
no
change
such
a
thing
tire.
as the average woman.
That's the average
Right,
woman, though.
but that's my weakness in that. But I have strengths in other places. I will do things that other people won't, but I'm not changing the type. We're just gonna go get a new
the
car.
average woman. That's the average woman.
There's no such thing as the average woman.
But that's what y'all
And I'll-
want.
and
Y'all
I'll
want the
re- and I'll
damsel in
reply.
distress. But when
Yes.
I show up at the construction site, all you gonna want to do is let me flip the stop and go sign.
Yes, right. Because they're gonna want to. Because the thing is, in a woman's nature, you guys could tell. In her nature.
Come on, I'm gonna let you finish. Come
In
on,
a-
Pastor.
No,
Make it plain,
I'm gonna help
Pastor.
you guys. I'm on your
Let's
side.
see what he gonna
Tread
say.
carefully.
Let's see.
In a woman's nature, you guys normally take over. By nature, by
And we
natural,
do.
you take over because that's what instincts.
what we do.
That's what y'all do because y'all know how to do it.
Okay,
So the thing is, with men, we lead by ego.
you do.
We might not know something,
Preach.
but we're gonna act like we know it.
And then, ooh, that ego.
You know
Come
what I
on,
mean?
Pastor.
So I'm on y'all side with this.
You
one.
are. Come
All right.
on.
So look, y'all better give me
Bring
kudos
it
for
home,
that because
Pastor.
look,
Bring it home,
it don't
Pastor.
happen all the
Second
time.
round on me. Second round on me.
So Jasmine, I want to ask you this. So, 'cause I seen some of your pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and some of your pieces, every piece that you have is different, different motivation, different piece. So, what I want to know? What is the motivation behind each piece? Is it
Anything.
okay? What does that mean?
I mean, it depends. So I could, let's say I recently created a piece for a lady. And she told me her story about the trauma she had been through, all the
okay.
types of abuse that she had been through. And I told her, I said, if you had to tell me about yourself with 4 or 5 words, I said, I don't want you to answer this right now, but in your spare time, just meditate on that. Just unpack that, all
Okay.
you've been through. And out of all the things you've been through, the woman you are today, what words come to mind when you look at yourself in the mirror? And she sent me those words, and I said, okay, I'm done. I'll let you know when the painting is done. She said, I trust you.
Okay.
So I created this piece of this woman. She's like in these in this golden garment, this golden, like looks like almost like a toga draped over her.
Okay.
She's holding the Holy Bible in her hand. She has her wrist, her wrist and her hands are wrapped in like the white boxer's tape. She has these big gold wings, but her head is to the sky. You know, she has this stance. Her body language is like strength.
Okay.
And I created that piece because when you tell me those things and I hear about all the things that she's been through, she also has a book out. It's by Jay Manning. And out of all the things that she's been through, the words that she sent me were like courage, strength, like power, like faith. So I wanted to create or manifest that in an image to where when you see it, you don't have to talk about it. It's
Right.
not really a conversation piece. It's kind of like what's understood doesn't have to be explained. And when she saw it, she just burst into tears. Because I thought it was going to be like, oh, I'm surprising you. And she's going to be like, oh, yay, I love it. And we were going to laugh it off. And she started sobbing, crying. And
that's dope.
I get weird, and I'm like, you want some water? Because I get weird when people cry. You want some water?
Wow. Yeah, you going to be my
like-
new best friend.
Yeah, like
I got
when
one just
people
like
start
you.
crying, I be like,
But you know what,
you
though?
know, it's weird.
You want something to eat?
But you know what? So the thing is, this is what I get from that. You
hungry?
you have you have a sense
Go
of
shopping?
you have a sense of spirituality,
I do. I grew up very, very, very heavy
but
in church.
not religious.
Right. I grew up religious, but now I'm spiritual.
People
So
don't know there's a difference.
you tap in. Looks like you tap in into the emotion
I do.
of your client
I do.
to fulfill your client. So now that piece right there, you can't teach that. I could go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Tuesday, but you can't teach tapping into the divine to outsource a product or manifest a product.
When you have a God-given gift,
Okay.
you need to learn it. It's already been instilled in you.
All right.
Found it.
You're
about it.
born with a tool within you, and it's not until you go through certain things in life that kind of like a superhero. Superhero, you see in the movies that there are these babies, pure babies, born with these powers within, and it's certain instances in their life to where these powers kind of start manifesting. And it's just like having a tool. I can give you a tool right now and say, help me do this. You're going to look at the tool and say, I don't know how to use this tool. But if I put you in the right situation with just a little bit of guidance, or your back is up against the wall, you're going to learn how to use that tool for your good if your life depends on it.
Right.
And so for me, I always had the gift. My strengths were I'm a relator, I'm a communicator, and I'm very connected. I feel for people. So I have clients who have had me paint pictures of their loved ones that have passed and things like that, and I grieve. I physically, I don't sleep much until I finish the painting. While I'm painting,
You're
You were
talking
just
about
saying
how
the connection of
Yeah.
knowing where you are, and when you're painting, you don't sleep.
yeah. So those are very emotional experiences for me, because I look at it in a deeper sense. You didn't just ask me to paint something. You trusted me
right,
to do something that nobody on earth can do, which is bring somebody back to life.
right.
Because most of the time, all you have is an old picture or a dusty picture. But seeing it on canvas, the colors are vibrant. It's blown up. It's more life size. It's more realistic for you. In that moment, it does something for you. I feel like that's a closure for a lot of people. Grieving, grief is a very, very, very. It's deep. Grief
Yeah, it
is
is.
so
It's
deep.
continuous. It does not stop.
It's not about, most people don't realize that most people who grieve don't even truly start their grief process until after the funeral.
You're right.
Until
And
after
when
the
it hits-
calls
When everybody
stop.
leaves.
When
Right.
everybody leaves.
Chicken boxes
And
stop coming.
the tea cakes are gone.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Right.
it's afterwards. So again, I just use my gift, and it's not about studying, but it's about just understanding that when you have a gift like that, you're very vulnerable.
Okay.
Because people can see it in you. People can feel it. And people desire to be around you. But sometimes it's only to drain you.
So that's good. That's good. Let me ask you this: Why?
That's good. Go
Why
ahead.
do you
Run it around here in
allow?
a minute.
Why do you allow? Even though I know it's natural, why do you allow that to happen? If you know
Not your
you're going to be
control.
vulnerable, if you do this, and I understand at the very beginning you're not gonna know the way you're gonna feel, but you know that at the end it's going to be an outcome that you wasn't prepared for.
Doesn't matter. That's what I was created for.
Okay.
Have you
So
ever turned
purpose,
down
basically.
the job?
I have. But at the same time, I go by this thing called altruism.
Yes. Okay.
Because I understand that when you're in a position to serve and you have a gift like my gift, not just my gift, but because of the type of gift I have to be able to connect with people on deeper levels and more spiritual levels,
Okay.
energy levels, you have to learn to use your gift for the greater good and understand that you're not always going to benefit. It's not always going to be convenient. It's not always going to be fun. And sometimes it's going to drain the life out of you. But my purpose allows me to know that, guess what? if you're in a situation and you're going through something and I'm like, okay, I know I can't fix it, but I can do all I can to pour into you and give you all that I got right now until I'm empty, because guess what? I know because of the God-given gift I have, I'm going to be replenished.
Okay.
I will be replenished while you might still feel empty. But it's because of the gift I have to where I'm tapped into how to replenish myself. And I understand that, okay, I've emptied myself into this person.
Right.
But because it came from a almost like a paranormal place, a deeper spiritual place, I know how to go get my fuel back. I know where my gas station is.
So
Most
does that
people
affect?
Never figure out where their gas station is.
So that's good. So does that affect your real life?
Yeah, this is my real life.
That is her real life.
This is my everyday life.
So you think it's two separate things?
It's not.
Well, no,
No,
I don't think it's
I'm
that.
asking honestly. Do you think
No,
it's two separate things?
I think because you know your purpose, right, and you know why you're here. I think sometimes your purpose, people forget their purpose because of life.
I'm gonna tell you why you think that.
I'm just saying, things in life we forget, and we get distracted. So then, especially when we get like a mate or a man or whatever, and be like, okay, well, I'm focused on this now.
Yeah.
But it's a difference in
And sometimes
knowing your
people
purpose.
run from it.
It's a difference in knowing your purpose,
Yeah.
understanding your purpose, and accepting your purpose.
Okay.
You run, right.
Because some
Right.
people know their purpose, but this, I'm gonna be honest, this shit is hard.
Absolutely.
Hard. This is hard.
And they run from
I
it. They
have-
don't want to do it.
I have been in situations to where I've had to sit and really think about, do I really want to do this? Because I know I really don't want to do it, but I know I need to.
Okay.
I know I have to do this because it's not about me. And that's what I tell myself. It's not about me. It's not about me. Sometimes I get these requests and I know that these are kind of divine connections.
Say that again. It's not about who?
It's not about me.
A lot of people don't realize
Yeah,
that.
it's not about me, because at the end of the day, the Most High gets the glory. And some of these requests that come my way are requests that I know you came to me for a reason.
Okay.
You've been following my page. You chose me. And that's how that's how I
Okay.
think about it as an artist.
Hey.
People sit and they watch you, sometimes for years and for months, and it's a life event that they go through, and all of a sudden they reach out. That is kind of like your opportunity to sometimes answer their call for help,
Okay.
because you are the safe space that they don't have anywhere else. And sometimes these are perfect strangers. Oh my gosh, I'm so inspired by you. I've been watching you for so long. You made this one post and you were talking about your mental health and all you've been through. OMG, I would have never known. And I've been going through da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
At that point, they have just opened up and vented something to you that they probably never told anybody else.
Right.
And you can either, one, leave them on red and make them go back into their shell. They might never open up to anybody again.
Right.
Or you can put yourself in that servant position and say, you know what, I'm not a substitute for professional help, but these are some things that I can share with you that help me along the way.
Okay.
And if you ever need this and this, these are some places you can go, or these are some places that I trust that can assist you along the way. And again, sometimes I know that it's going to be a draining process. You can just tell sometimes when somebody unpacks too much too soon.
Right.
And you have to know how to separate hey, this is a little too much for me. I'm not in a mental space to handle this. And you just have to kind of do a warm handoff to maybe a local organization or something.
I'm a therapist in real
Or
life.
a therapist.
So I understand all of what you say.
Yeah. So you got to, and it's hard because it's like, okay, I'm balancing my mental health, people's mental health around me. I have to try to be transparent, but not too transparent, because sometimes your transparency can traumatize people.
Right.
Right.
So it's all in wordplay, because this is the internet. You don't want people to become triggered, but you want them to be just triggered enough to become self-aware.
But everybody doesn't have that insight that you have.
Everybody doesn't have it. But to me, the only thing I can do is try to continue to share the knowledge in the best way that I know how. I'm still learning too. But to, again, just empower people, educate people as much as possible, bring people together to have more of these conversations, especially in the Black community.
What has caused you to turn down a project when you've turned one down?
Mental health.
Yours or theirs?
Mine.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Good answer.
I am very in tune with my mental health. At one point, I was not.
Okay.
I was on the lower end of the spectrum. And now that I know what it's like to be on that very bottom end of the spectrum, I know when to say no. I know when it's too much for me. I know when I know my triggers.
Right.
I know when my coping mechanisms aren't working this week, and I know how to go to plan B. I know myself to the point where I'm not going to let anyone else take me out of my element voluntarily. And in the event that I'm taken out of my element, I know how to withdraw.
Okay.
I know how to withdraw professionally and
the
on a
boundaries.
personal level, while also giving them the most understanding response I can. Hey, I would love to, but at this time, I just don't. I don't think that I can take on this project. You know, that causes me to feel maybe just a little too emotional.
Right.
I think that's a bit much, but I never leave people hanging. I always leave them with a but, and I try to keep it positive. Or hey, but if you're ever just XYZ, this is who you can call. Because
Right.
again, because I went to school for it, haven't graduated yet, but because I went to school, you can identify some of those red flags.
Went to school for what?
For mental health, for psychology.
Okay.
And so going through it myself and also studying it in a book is this weird two-sided thing
It's different.
it's terrible
It hit
almost
different.
because
It's good.
you can't
It's-
unknow it. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
once you can't unknow certain things, you look at things so much. If you build cars, you'll never look at a car the same way.
Well,
if you do hair, you always will stare at somebody's roots.
How
and
long
they
did it take you to stop diagnosing people?
Just kind of.
You probably still do
You
it.
still diagnosing? See, I finally
Inevitably.
stopped
It's-
until I have to.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
I don't fully do it,
But it helps you though. It helps you.
I don't
You be
fully
like,
do
oh,
it,
okay.
but it helps me understand
Yeah.
how to handle certain people.
So-
I've
Yeah.
put in some of my posts. Please don't do X, Y, Z. I will not respond to your passive aggressiveness.
Okay.
I'm letting you know that I've identified that, and I'm
So
letting
look,
you.
now watch this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. And both of y'all are therapists.
I'm not a therapist.
Well, you're not a therapist,
yet.
but
He
you
don't
was in
believe I
school.
am either, but that's
So-
because he know me personally. Go ahead.
This is how I look at stuff. Like you said, I'm gonna give you your analogy. You said if a person was a mechanic and they grew up as a mechanic and they know the car inside out, right? Without even reading the book. But when they go to mechanic school, they're gonna teach them how to
The why.
look at this. Like you said, the why. You should examine this. And now they're tainted. They've been doing this from grade 1. They could close their eyes and rebuild a transmission. But when you read a book and now you start, like I said, diagnosing people, that's when you start failing because now it becomes judgmental.
No, it's not.
Watch
It's
it.
not.
Let me
Not
finish.
at all.
You know why I said that? It becomes judgmental because
has
now
a
you
stigma with
know
mental health.
you know something that somebody else doesn't know. You know the clinical word for it.
No,
No.
that's
You
not
see what I'm
what
saying?
Not
no,
at all.
This
no.
is my opinion.
Because
that's not
when
what
we
that
say
is.
diagnose people,
You
let
know
me-
the behavior.
Let me
you know the
let
why.
me clear that up.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I feel like, and I'm not speaking because I will be clear, I am not a licensed professional. I'm
Okay.
only certified as a mental health
I am.
first aid
Okay.
specialist. Okay, I'm only trained to diffuse people who are in mental crisis
Come
events.
on.
Through art.
No, in real life.
In real
Oh, really?
life.
Oh,
If
okay.
somebody, my for real new
If
best
somebody's
friend.
having a
Me and
mental
her gonna work
breakdown
together.
outside on the corner,
Jasmine, tell me this.
nobody has to call me. If I see it,
You can recognize
I
it.
can recognize it, and it's, again, altruism. It's not like, well, they ain't paying me for this. They ain't got nothing to do with me. People crazy. Yeah, people are crazy, but we want to make sure that person doesn't harm themselves or anybody else. And we want to make sure that innocent bystanders around them that don't understand what's going on, we want to make sure that they don't become involved and maybe escalate this situation in the wrong kind of way. So, again, when we say diagnose people, it's not saying, okay, I'm going to write you a letter saying, you know what, girl, you are bipolar and schizophrenia, because I can tell by that message. It's not that. It's just mentally understanding that some of the characteristics that you are displaying to me are signs of some of these things over here. Now, I'm not
Jasmine,
saying that you are
I'm
just.
We just don't need to come together.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just
I'm
gonna
not
have to
saying
tell
that
them we
this
don't
is
need
what
to
it
come
is,
together.
but
I'm mad at you, Jasmine.
there's some
I'm mad at you right now.
the type of
You didn't
communication.
tell him you were one of me.
Right.
He don't believe
I
in
didn't
what
know
I
that,
do.
Jasmine. See, you
Wait,
can't-
he don't believe in what I do until he
I didn't
meet
know
me.
that.
Let's say that.
So look,
No, you
Didn't know
Jasmine,
you
You
were
have
one
to-
of me.
But the
I didn't
great,
know that.
but that's
tricked me.
why.
But see, this is the thing.
You tricked me, Jasmine.
You have to listen to her though. When she says that her artistry is a calling, she feels it's within her. I feel when you have creatives, when you have people of a certain thing, it's in them. I tell people all the time, I have friends who have been cutting hair since we were in junior high school, before our basketball games. They own barbershops, lucrative businesses for the past 25, 26 years to date. Those types of things are in people. Like, people ask, why did you become a therapist? I did not. Therapy chose me.
Exactly. We don't choose this life.
The Southern University and A&M College, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
See what I'm dealing with.
For therapeutic recreation. I did an internship at the State Psychiatric Hospital in Jackson. I said, okay. Still enrolled in LSU, thinking I'm about to do exercise science. I want to be trainer. I want to do this. They said, you need an elective. I said, okay. I took this elective. The elective I chose was a class, I can't remember the name of it. It was basically a diagnostic something. It broke down to DSM-4.
Oh, Lord, don't get into that.
Out of this class.
And
I
you were
was
like,
so intrigued.
And then you couldn't
See what
But
I'm dealing with? I'm all
even
by
when
myself.
I did my internship in Jackson, I don't know if I was ever on time for anything. I used to get there for like an hour early, and I used to just be in charts, just reading. And I'm like, this can't be real. I was like, this is like a Stephen King movie.
Yeah, it all
they was
lines
like,
up.
where do you think Stephen King gets his information
Exactly.
from? Like, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is nothing
Literally.
compared to a state psychiatric
Let me ask you this.
It's
facility.
not
Let me ask
the
you this.
same.
And say
I'm not done.
It's a whole different ball game.
So, but to say all of that, I did that. And so I'm at LSU. I'm in school. I'm thinking I'm about to be this sports trainer. I took this DSM-4 class, and I was like,
Something not
I
right.
stopped. I went back to Southern and got into this master's program
See what I'm
for
saying?
a licensed therapist. I came out of school, took the test, failed the test by 1 point. I'm about to go to nursing school. Moved to New Orleans after Katrina, living in a FEMA trailer, about to go to nursing school.
You're not going to get no sleep.
My grandmother's breast cancer came back. You cannot miss a day because it was an accelerated program. That's like missing a month of nursing school. So I was like, I got to make a decision. My mama might need me. My gramps going to need me. I deferred my admissions. I went back into the mental health track, doing crisis counseling with kids.
Woo.
Do the
Bless
crisis
you.
counseling with the kids. We keep going. I finished my intern hours. I take the test. I passed the test like 99th percentile. So I was like,
And I was
hey,
in school
this
for
is where
engineering.
I'm supposed to be.
So I want to ask this
But see,
question.
people, when you asked that question earlier, people run from things. Like when people say, the Lord called me, I got the call, and they
Right.
be like, you hung up. When it's something for you, it's going to keep coming back until it gets
So
you.
I
You
wanna-
can try to
I wa-
run from it,
I'm
but
about
it's
to go
coming
there.
to get you.
So I'm about to ask this question, and both of you guys can ask this question.
But I'm not coming to your church when you start preaching.
Since you
Ursha,
guys
Ursha.
have, look,
Sit right here on this floor, right
got
hey,
here.
look, you know, hey, look, no,
Chewing that gum,
hey, I'm gonna get,
spit
no,
it
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
Spit it out.
I'm gonna start a church and look,
I'm not coming.
I'm gonna rent it out and go ahead and make some money off that
Your
thing.
friend said he going to start a church too for strippers.
Hey, look. So Jasmine, let me ask you a question. I know we get too much in psychology and
He don't like
I don't want to
he
get
don't
into all
like
that
There's
He
no
don't
such
like
thing.
it.
because that conversation go on forever.
He doesn't like it. Because
So-
it's forever. It's
It
not
is.
going anywhere, Nelson.
I know, right? So let me ask you this. So I seen that you had did a wall painting in one of these, like you said, these open floor plan houses. So how long? First of all, how long does those paintings take?
About a day and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Even on a texture wall?
Yeah.
What's your max of what you'll put in a day? Do you
Depends on
have
how-
one?
Depends on how I feel that morning.
Okay.
Or you get up early and
I do not.
so I'm saying, so
Lies.
how do you do like? Because I seen it has so much detail in most of these artworks. So you said a day and a half?
Day and a half.
Really?
I've had clients. I've told a lady. She was like,
I
"Oh,
like
it was like a Monday. I started, and so I was looking at the wall, and I was like, yeah, I'll probably be done by this evening, sometime tomorrow afternoon." And she was like,
Really?
"But okay." That evening, she left to go out of town. I text her and said, "I'm done," and she texted me back and said, "You're a fucking liar,
What was
Wow.
it?
a effing liar."
What was the mirror? Well, what was the project? What
It was a huge 20-foot wall that curved around into a circle.
And what did you?
You did a whole
Create.
20-foot wall?
Yeah,
Wow.
22-foot wall.
Was it
Wow.
waves? Was it abstract? What was
all
it?
of the above?
Just
Yeah,
What about the lion you did? That lion, I know that took a while.
2 days.
it's a lion. It's on your page.
It's a lion head.
Yeah, 2 days.
Wow. Okay,
20
you good.
20 foot up.
So look, as a person, as a paying client, right, with a 25% discount because you're on a
See what I'm
costly
saying?
distinct
He don't want to
podcast.
pay. See what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Make
I
sure
knew where that was
you put the
going, Jasmine.
costly distinct discount in there. You get 25% off.
He's that. Oh, he's that person.
So look, for something.
People gonna be looking for that 25.
Literally
Don't
talking
do
about.
that.
They gonna say, well, I was on the show too. I'm a partner.
Right. Adam said.
They gonna say I donated to Chell, so I was just wondering if I can, get a little.
I knew him
15%, yeah.
I knew him when he was
boy.
number 81.
So
That's my boy.
what was the cost? What's the cost? Something roughly. I can say a rough cost. Give me a estimate or something like that. Like
for you to come out. and
come out,
consult.
estimate it, and do it.
For like a 20-foot wall like that.
Well, not 20 foot. Just say
I don't
a.
have 20-foot walls in my
So
house.
I'm just gonna give you we're just gonna say ideally a 20-something foot wall.
Okay. Okay.
So for a full mural on a 20-foot wall, that's gonna start at about $2,800.
Okay, that ain't bad.
Yeah,
That ain't bad.
I want the elephant.
the elephant.
Can you recreate this? Is it supposed to be a
It's
one
an
of a
elephant
kind?
she looking at because she did for a
anything
delta.
Can be created.
I want the elephant.
It was for a delta.
Clearly, I want this elephant.
So, but that
We can
that
come-
I
elephant
don't want
was
the 25% discount.
We got-
I'm gonna pay whatever your price
See,
is.
you see-
I want
wait,
the elephant.
Wait,
Yeah, let's stay focused.
can we edit that and rerun that back again?
Right.
What she just said. She doesn't want.
I don't want the. I want to pay whatever your cost is. I
Y'all
believe
hear that?
in
It's on wax. It's on
I'm gonna
camera.
go get me some
Yeah.
more money. I'm gonna sell some banana
I
pudding.
want 10% of that.
So
I want 10% of that.
OnlyFans.
spell
So
10.
you
Spell
Look,
percent. You
look.
spell percent.
you make the sale. I want 10% of
Look,
that.
tell him he spell percent.
Yeah,
We give it to
you
him.
point, I
Spell
will.
it. Spell percent.
So look, hold up. So hold up.
Yeah, I
20
was raised by old folks.
You
So
see that, huh?
$2,800 ain't bad.
Yeah, start
That's starting. That's starting.
at
Okay.
$2,800.
I got you.
want this.
And again, it depends on the
What-
shape of your house. It depends on the space because you
My house
got to
shot
remember
going.
that
Right.
I am bringing a 20-foot scaffold. I'm hauling an 800-pound scaffold on the back of my truck
Right.
that I have to load on the truck. And I got to get to your house and I got to unload it.
Yeah.
Then I got to bring all that heavy equipment in your house and I have to assemble this 800-pound scaffold in your home.
Right, right.
So when the consultation, it depends on how much work I really have to do because people don't realize that the loading, unloading, putting that scaffold together and moving it around is harder than the actual paint job.
Right.
So if I have to bring all that
The labor,
equipment,
basically.
I'm
Yeah.
risking my life to give you a beautiful wall.
So when people
I see
say
your
that's
work.
too
Your
much,
work
you
is
just
dope.
tell them go get you some more money and we'll be back.
I just said, okay, well, when you're ready to move forward, you know where to find me, and I look forward to
So-
creating for you.
That's too
What
much.
about a canvas? A canvas that's I'm just throwing numbers out there. This is so what about a canvas that's 8 foot by
Without your 25%?
by 12 feet? A 12 by 8 foot canvas.
8
Epoxy.
8 foot
8
tall,
by
by
10?
No, 8 by wide, 12 foot wide.
So
12 foot tall.
8 foot long, 12 foot tall. That's running about $5,000
Okay.
because I have to build it. I build
Right.
everything in my workshop.
You know he didn't
Right.
need them dimensions.
Right.
Right.
But at the same time, let's say you know a business owner who just might be listening in, who is now creating some type of hotel
Right.
or does big work or
That's why I'm asking this
let's
question.
say that there's a
Right.
realtor that says, I handle commercial spaces and I would love to give my client or a voucher or a closing gift on this $3 million business that they
Right.
have. I would love to give them a $2,000 or $3,000 canvas or something around that number.
Or airports. You know, the airport is
Right.
decorating
Yeah,
itself.
but
They're redoing it.
they do like these artist calls and all that kind of stuff. I don't like being. My thing is I don't
Like
like
the
being
cattle
told what
calls.
to do.
Okay.
I don't like it has to be something that reflects this and reflects that because I might not be feeling that day.
I got you.
So that's hard for me. But again, those bigger canvases, they are expensive because for one, made in Houston. It's made locally.
Right.
I'm using quality wood. I mean, I'll be honest, Home Depot got some cheap wood, but it's dry. It's not going to hold up. It's not going to. It's
got
just
you.
a lot of things. So to me,
Right.
when you're using quality products, you got to remember a lot of these canvases that I'm doing will be heirlooms in the next 20 or 30 years.
Okay.
These
That's
are
dope. That's
these
dope.
are canvases that if you ever fall on hard times, you can probably go auction
And
one
sell
off.
it.
You can put it in the estate sale.
So
It's called
you can't. These are
asset.
yeah, but
That's what
these
it
are
is, an asset.
canvases that literally I can honestly and guarantee and say nobody else in the world has this canvas, and that means a lot.
Absolutely.
We're not gonna say that about that elephant though, because somebody else in the world gonna have this elephant.
No, they're not, because you're gonna have a different kind.
Come on, Jesus.
Okay.
See how you
Nobody
fix
else in
that?
the world is gonna have your elephant. So I tell people all the time, you spent $20,000-$30,000 on a car, you spent $100,000, $200,000,
On a house.
Invest in what you
on
want.
your house that 1,500 other people have across the city because
Right.
everybody's using the same cookie cutter layouts.
It
You
was
invested
his
all of
hands.
this money in your forever home, and you can't even find a decent painting to hang on the wall because guess what? Nobody's making canvases that
Absolutely.
big. Nobody's saying you cannot walk in any store right now and say, I need a canvas this big to
Absolutely.
look like this. I need it to fit this wall, and this is my decor. Oh yeah, and I don't like this, but I want crystals on it.
Not even that.
Yeah, the biggest one they sell, I think it's like only 8x8. I think in Hobby Lobby.
No, they
It's-
don't.
no,
sell,
it- no, this is 8x8. It's
they sell.
5x5, I believe.
No, it's a 5 foot by 4 foot
5x4, yeah.
specific.
That's the biggest one they
That's
sell.
the biggest one they sell.
Yeah.
Not only is that the biggest one they sell, guess what they don't do for you?
They don't make
paint
it.
They don't do anything to it.
They don't do it. They don't even deliver.
So look, let me
They don't
ask you
even
this.
deliver 5 foots on the truck if you order them online.
Jasmine, let me ask you this. In closing, because this is going to get too good. It's going to be a 2-hour conversation, and we got to go.
Where you going?
I'm gonna use 3 words because you used 1 word already. I'm gonna use these 3 words, and I want you to tell the people what it means to you.
Mm-hmm.
You already use altruism, right?
Altruism.
Altruism. All right.
Altruism.
So the second word is prayer.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
To meditate,
Okay.
to concentrate. I feel like prayer is how I want to. Prayer to me is really just to have hope,
Okay.
to have a goal, to whatever you believe in. Even some people who don't believe in anything, they still pray. They pray differently, but they still pray. So to sit down and concentrate. And when they say my prayer room, prayer is just a form of meditation. Meditation is a form of concentration. Concentration means just to focus on something that you really want
Okay.
or really desire, and to tune everything out that could be a distraction to that. So whether you're saying, oh, I pray I get this house, or you know what, I really want another house and I need to figure out how I'm going to get it. You're meditating on that thought. You're unpacking what's going to take, what is going to be the process, and what are going to be some of the factors that's going to add to you getting that house or take away from you getting that house. It's just a form of concentration.
Right. So third word, paint.
Express.
Okay. Expression.
This is just a form of expression.
And the last word, impact.
Impact.
Talk about it. Take your time. Take your time, minister. Evangelist,
So
take your time.
The word impact, I feel like, goes right back to altruism,
Okay.
because impact,
Full circle.
it depends on what you look at impact as. Some people say, that really impacted me. And really it could just be like, it just made me feel some kind of way. Made me feel, or it made me think, that impacted me. Or it could be like, that did something beneficial. It added value to me. There was a gain that came from this, like impact. So it all, I feel like, kind of depends on the context you're using it in and who the person is, what the situation is. I have a lot of people to say, oh, wow, your work is so impactful.
Right.
You inspire me to be a better artist, or, I just love the joy you have, especially after I've posted about my mental health, especially about how I've posted about those not so great days and those not so dark days. So what I gave people is, you see me in this up here,
Right.
but I want you to understand that I was here first.
I like this.
So you have something to compare to. I'm not a self-made anything.
I got you.
I didn't create this space for myself. I was used as a vessel, and I feel like when I answered my call and understood that my purpose and my passion would collide, I had to go through those dark times because I was going to need those experiences to impact people in this season of my life.
That's awesome. That's
funny that she says that, though, because in zoology terms, altruism is the behavior of an animal that benefits another at its own expense.
Mm-hmm. It's like a sacrifice.
That's what it is.
Are you willing
It's
to
a sacrifice.
sacrifice?
Right. That's awesome.
Are you?
No, we ain't talking about me.
We know
we
you
talking about the
not.
guests. So look, we're not talking about me, guys.
gonna
Look,
pray for you.
we're gonna mute that. We're not gonna talk about me. So Jasmine, I want you to tell the people exactly your handles and what can they find you if they want to, purchase some art. We already got one person that's trying to get that.
We about
elephant.
to do some stuff. I got an elephant. I got some chairs.
We gonna get you over to our house and see what we can do over there.
I got some 5-foot walls.
It's cool. If we got 5 foot walls,
We're going to start with these chairs and this elephant
it's
first,
cool.
though.
There's always a starting point. It usually unravels from there.
So what's your handles?
Jasmine Janelle _collection with the X. So we'll tag that in the video because it's kind of long. Jasmine is spelled the normal way.
Okay.
JasmineJanelle. JANELLE_COLLEX.
Okay.
ION, Jasmine Janelle _collection. Slide in my DMs.
Hey.
Meet me there.
Hey.
You know. And
We gonna find you a man too.
no, thank you.
No, not a man to date, but a man to paint with you collectively.
No, thank you.
See, come on now. I'm trying to create.
Don't do that. Do me a favor and do me no favors.
All right.
No, thank you. I think I'm good where I'm at.
But you know what though?
After 20.
We closing on this, but I thought about something. Day in the life of Jasmine. Day in the life of Jasmine. How you starting a mural and how you finished it in that same day. I think that'd be dope. Just for people to see it.
I think it would be dope too.
Hey, we gonna talk about that off camera.
They just can't judge me when I start having staff meetings with nobody else in the room.
Oh, okay. You talking
the
to
best
yourself.
kind.
I got you.
Yeah.
The best kind.
So you are okay, I
I
got
have
you.
employees, internal.
In your head. I got you. You go here, you go here, you go here. I get you.
Yeah.
You catch that side.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you guys, look, you got it. You had it here. This is
Man, when that brush start moving.
Jasmine.
now. Wait
I
a minute.
appreciate you coming through. Look, I appreciate you coming through, Jasmine. You got to come back, and we gonna work on that day in the life of Jasmine.
Jasmine gonna teach me some stuff. I'm gonna learn how to change a tire and not think I need a new car. I'm gonna change a battery.
That's right.
I'm gonna show you a whole lot, and then when I'm ready to become an art therapist and start my nonprofit,
Come on.
I already got a therapist that can,
Hey, all right.
contribute.
I'm
do
always
it.
talking about percentages over here. You know, I'm a
We
businessman
not
first.
giving you
I'm a
anything. You gonna be
businessman
our
first.
He gonna be our
He
first
haven't
patient.
talked about any job duties.
No, girl. See, you a quick study. I like you.
know what I'm
Hey, look,
I like
God
you.
bless me to be a thinker. Okay, I do the
What?
thinking. I don't do the work. I do the thinking. Okay. This is the Culturally Distinct Podcast. This is your boy DJ KO.
K Jack is in the building.
Jasmine Janelle, appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure you guys subscribe, tune into the channel.